because I'm going to tell you what is about to happen.
This is where the disciples stayed during this particular season, and all the colors mean something, from the tapestry to the carpeting and all the little details.
This is not tile. These are stickers that the crew applied by hand.
Welcome to One Nation Under God. I'm Adrienne Bankert. Join me for a backlot tour of The Chosen Season 5.
Our biggest challenge this season was we moved out of Capernaum and we were moving to Jerusalem. So every set was brand new this season. The Last Supper, I think we were all a little nervous about it because it's such an iconic scene. Everybody knows what the Last Supper is, no matter what religion you come from. I think it's kind of a broad story. Everybody kind of knows what it is. And so the biggest thing people have to remember is Jerusalem was destroyed in 70 AD. And so we don't really know a lot of what Jerusalem looked like. There's like five different camps of what the temple actually looked like. You know, some people say it looked like this, some people say it was here, some people say it was there. And so, and the upper room itself was completely destroyed during that. They have what they think is one wall left of it. There's the Byzantine, like if you went to Jerusalem today and saw the upper room, it's the Byzantine build of it. And so we did take elements of that current room and put it in there because that's what people will recognize. So we started probably building sets in February. I've been working on this since October. So we designed all of our sets. We had our set designers and my art director where we designed it all, presented it all. And then we were way over budget from what we were supposed to be. So we had to go back to the drawing board. And so we started building probably around February while we were also prepping for Utah, which we went to Utah. And while we were in Utah, we built Phoebe's set and we built Pilate's set, which we're gonna go see. It's gonna be a big season. It's a big season for us.
We're going behind the scenes on the set of The Chosen. Follow me.
I'm not going to give too much backstory to it because I don't want to get in trouble again. Her whole house off of an ancient Greek kind of architecture and colors.
This is where the disciples stayed during this particular season. And as you look around, the colors are different here. They intentionally wanted to take what they found from historic Greek frescoes and use the terracotta, the teal, the rust, the copper color, so that this felt like we were somewhere in the Greek Isles. But as you can hear, there's still construction going on. They're still building sets.
With a lot of our Jewish homes, especially the richer ones, we kind of go to like the 1800s, the Orientalist paintings, which were kind of, you know, Morocco, Egypt, Turkey. We kind of pull, even India, we pull a lot of stuff from that to kind of create a different look from like the Romans. In their temple, they had like trees and like nature things.
Clusters of fruit.
Right, but no people. It was forbidden for them to have that. So that's funny in this story, you'll see in season 5 that for them to even be in here with all these statues, they would have been ceremonially unclean. So they couldn't technically, but because it's Jesus's gang, you know, they were kind of rebels, you know, and so, right. And so it kind of, there was this push and pull throughout the season, which I thought it worked really well. Like a lot of things we have to buy, everything gets touched. We have to either paint it or age it. And so we always want, anything that we put on should kind of look handmade or, you know, like it would back in the first century, you know. And we even buy things at Walmart and Target and everything.
Doctor it up?
Doctor it up, yeah.
Can you see any one thing in this room that you found at Target?
Well, that whole book is Etsy. A lot of it we got actually from Greece. They made a lot of the pottery is actually from Greece.
The bookshelf?
Yep, in the bookshelf. Actually, there's a lot of things that we got at Home Goods.
Home Goods! I love Home Goods.
Yes.
Home Goods is my jam. That totally makes sense.
So we are in Pontius Pilate and Claudia's bedroom. We had created a couple of years ago on our set down in the city, their bedroom, but it was on a second floor, so it's difficult to actually film on second floors in stories. So because we were going to bring his office into this, we decided to bring the bedroom back down here. So all the wall treatments, all the colors are all the same, all the furniture is the same, it's just a little different shape. So if you're watching closely in season 3, you might see a little bit of difference, but we tried to keep it as close as possible. You'll see actually up there we had actual real mosaics on the floors and on the walls. We had to do linoleum, sadly, in here, but it gives the impression anyway that it's a mosaic floor. So, like I said, it's all the same fabrics, same colors. This over here, a lot of the Roman elites, they were very big on dynasty and lineage, and so they would have masks of their dead family in that room because they would pray to them, and it would give them strength. And so that's kind of what you see over here, in case you were wondering. We're going to come in here.
So we're inside Pilate's bedroom. This is one of the most opulent rooms on the set of season 5 of The Chosen. You can see the statues, the drapery, and then hearing that you could actually have a bedroom that looks like something from the set of The Chosen by shopping at Home Goods and Target makes my heart happy.
So this is Pilate's office. It's small. No, I'm just kidding. So these are classic Roman colors, the gold and the red and the black. A lot of our Roman stuff we take from Pompeii and Herculaneum. That's where we take most of our cues from. And up there above her bedroom, because Claudia's kind of a troubled soul, that is the classic life and death, yin and yang of the Roman culture. So on one side is a rich woman's dress, and the other side is the poor woman's dress, and the wheel of time in the middle. And what it kind of meant is nobody escapes death. Whether you're poor or rich, you're always under the guise of time and destiny. And so we put that above Claudia's door because she has these dreams and she's a troubled soul. So we kind of wanted people loosely to think about life and what's going on.
We're still in the palace of Pilate, and you can just see how much attention to detail is in every single room. In fact, right over here, the scrolls that they set up on these shelves, it just makes for a gorgeous backdrop. And I'm always in awe of how much they endeavored to be historically accurate. I mean, they studied Greek and Roman history and endeavored to be as close to real life as they could be on each and every one of these sets. It's really remarkable.
Everybody had a patron god, and so his patron god we made Apollo, which is the sun god. He's a younger guy, so we kind of gave him a younger god instead of Zeus. And we have other gods kind of around because the Romans were very into their gods, and they actually believed it. And so they surrounded themselves with it. And so we wanted that feel. And Jesus will come in here next season, probably part of his trial, to talk to Pilate. So we wanted him to, be surrounded by all these gods, like they're looking down on him. And so there's a little bit of meaning in everything, very subtle. So in here we have some more gods. Again, there's the snakes above the doors, which were kind of a sign of good luck and of prosperity. And so they had a big thing with snakes, so we put it in here. And this is Caesar Augustus, of course. They considered him a god at this point. And so they oftentimes would have him in their spaces. And then we have Athena, and I don't know who that is, but they're actually made out of fiberglass.
And that was all Pilate's palace.
Correct.
It was like bedroom, and then was it like office, library?
Office in the middle, and then, the foyer.
And the foyer was like a temple in those days.
Yeah, so they had gods everywhere. And so, they really believed it. And so they lived amongst them. And so
they lived amongst the gods. Mm-hmm. But it was almost like having their own private chapel.
Yeah. And especially as someone with wealth, the bigger the statue, the more money you had, kind of a deal.
Got it. Which is why those are gigantic.
Right.
Thank you, James.
So welcome to Caiaphas's house. Caiaphas was the high priest at the time in the first century of Jesus. And so this is his foyer. Because it's Caiaphas, we have a very large hand washing station in the center. We kind of wanted to make it bigger than life. But also, this set has changed a little bit over the season. Originally, there was a dining room on the end, and there was a bigger library on the side. And I think this side was the same, but we had to squish it down because it was too big and too much money. And so we cut it down a little bit. And we took a lot of our cues from Indian architecture, Moroccan architecture, and Turkish architecture.
So this is the house of Caiaphas, the high priest at the time, and the trial of Jesus Christ happens in this room. This is the room where Peter peers in and denies Jesus.
It's the exact opposite of Pilate's office. There's not as much color. We wanted to keep it more subdued because his character is a little more subdued. And we kept it the color minimum, blues and terracottas, and a lot of gold and a lot of bronze. And I actually think this is my favorite set. But it turned out wonderful. My team did an amazing job, so I'm over the moon about it. So it's awesome. And he even has his own big library in the back too. So.
I have a question. In preparation for this, I read somewhere that you all allowed the crew to put inscriptions or their favorite inspirational stories or verses on certain parts of the set.
So that's actually at the Sanhedrin in the city. So when it was built, the whole crew would write Bible verses or inspirational verses before we covered everything up. So on all the wood and the walls and the floors, it was kind of, if somebody excavated the place 1,000 years from now, they'd probably find all those inscriptions kind of around.
But not on every piece of set.
No, just that one there, because it was a permanent set. And these will come down in 2 seasons.
So all of this work just gets demolished.
Mm-hmm. Sadly, yeah.
Is that heartbreaking?
It is very heartbreaking, and I feel like I'm destroying the environment at the same time, but it's part of our industry, and so, but a lot of them we do save. They'll probably save this one, I would imagine.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm glad it's not a one. Sometimes some sets are one use and they're done, and I begged the writers to not do that with this one. I had all these sofas that we had ordered that were carved, and they didn't come in. And so last week I had to order these garden benches from Wayfair.
What?
And they came in. They came in time, and we painted them. We added ornamentation to them. Of course, we put fringe on them, and so they ended up working out pretty good. But it wasn't part of the original design.
This is a Wayfair find.
Yeah, these tables are from Wayfair. That's from Wayfair. Wayfair.
I think that's the most exciting thing, is that they get these sets from furniture stores that you and I shop at. That is so cool.
Right. The rugs are from Amazon.
This is a good rug.
I'm giving away all my secrets. So this is a model of what we think the city of Capernaum looks like. We have the Sea of Galilee out here. And then in the front of the city, most cities would have walls on them. And a lot of, like I said, this would be kind of a rampart of the Romans. And so we put some of the Roman gods, especially the gods of the sea, because they were sitting on a lake. These buildings are different than the sets that you would see on stage because these buildings were made to last. So they are permanent builds. It's actual stucco, actual barrel tile roofs. This is a faux stone. It's made out of concrete, but that's actual, the lower stone part, the larger bricks are actually just styrofoam that's coated, but most of it is real building materials, which was a challenge for us because filmmakers were not used to working with real building materials usually. So it was a bit of a challenge when we built this, but it was fun to do. So we can come on into the city.
One thing that is evident here is color. I mean, everything means something. They contributed to the walls, this carpeting, this tapestry, making sure that it actually looked like it would in Jerusalem back in the day.
So normally we took down the whole structure, but this is the house of Peter. We used to have a more rustic structure here. This was his wine press here. His door is just around the corner, but we had to change things up a little bit, so we tore his structure down. We put more Jerusalem kind of Roman structures up, just so it feels a little bigger. So you saw the other side of this, that the side on this side looked exactly the same. So we put this facade up this season so it doesn't look like the gate of Capernaum. So we put a new arch in, we put some windows in up above to make it feel more residential. And we're gonna have to rely a lot on visual effects to raise the city up for us so it feels taller and not like a small little fishing village. This building here is called the Thermopolium, which is basically first century fast food. A lot of people did not have the ability or the money to own a large home where that had a kitchen in it. So a lot of people actually ate on the streets. And so you would find a number of these in any town where people could come and get lunch or breakfast. And fast food's been around a long time. So this whole arch here is brand new to this season.
Has this changed at all from the Capernaum version? Because I was here last year, but I can't remember if it...
No, this is exactly the same, yep. This is one set I never have to do anything to. And if you're all wondering, the chairs are from Home Depot.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I knew someone was gonna ask. The chairs are from Home Depot. And this building is where all the people signed and did Bible verses and
All throughout the whole building. You can see some of them on the back wall, but it's underneath the floor.
floor, on the walls. It was everywhere, yep.
That's cool.
Because this is framed like a regular building, so there was framing and drywall and all that kind of stuff.
But this is all styrofoam.
Correct. The pillars are all styrofoam, yep.
I love that you speak so boldly. I think that there have been haters, so I'm curious to know how you tune out the haters.
There have been some haters? Who are you talking to?
I want you to tell us how you do that, because I think for a lot of people who've known your father's legacy and this show's legacy, they consider you a hero.
Well, that's very kind.
Be stalwart, steadfast in light of criticism. So what does surrender look like after all this success?
I used to be someone who really did care about what people thought of me. I think narcissism was one of my vices. And I cared about what people thought. I would hit the refresh button online to see the numbers coming in for whatever project that I had released. And when my movie, The Resurrection of Gavin Stone, just failed at the box office, I really did say to myself and to God, okay, I'm willing to give all this up. And when I said that, and I meant it, and then someone I barely know reaches out and says, it's not your job to feed the 5,000, it's just to provide the loaves and fish. In that moment, I genuinely did surrender. I mean, that's the key word. And I said, okay, I truly care more about being in your will and doing what you want me to do than I care about achieving anything and or getting certain affirmation. And so I gave all that up, and that became a superpower. And when you really can apply that, and I started replacing some of those tempting thoughts with scripture, and I just started practicing the habits of not caring about what people thought. And it really did become a superpower, and it has been, I think, what caused God to say to me, okay, now you're ready for the chosen. Because right now you can go on YouTube and search my name, and you can see videos with millions of views calling me a heretic. You can see videos with millions of views calling me a hero. Neither one of those things are true. Neither one of those things I can be trying to avoid or get more of. And so, honestly, it's just been for 6 years a decision that I made 6 years ago that I've just been living out of. I just got to focus on the work. I got to focus on pleasing God and my wife. And after that, I really can't care. I really can't worry about it. And so, again, if you start to see strains of that, and I've got enough people in my life who will smack me upside the head if they start to see me thinking about or caring about what people think. And the response to season 4, again, has been great. It's been overwhelming. But I think there's been enough criticism, too, to show that we're not really doing this to avoid criticism.
We're so glad you joined us for this tour behind the scenes with The Chosen, with the cast, and of course Dallas Jenkins. And we want to thank the entire Chosen family for allowing us to be here in Texas, on the set, on the sound stages. It's been absolutely amazing. Remember, you can tune in to One Nation Under God on NewsNation's YouTube channel every Thursday. New content. See you next time.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.